gonna walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. Silence is quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. You feel like dying. I promise we'll take the world to its feet and move mountains. Bring it to its feet and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like today. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. All we need is, oh, that we have each other, that we have each other. We will rise, we will rise, we'll rise. Oh, we'll rise, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rising like the day. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up 1,000 times again.
And you can reach out directly.
Hello, if you can hear
All
me,
right.
it's time to come into the sanctuary. If you just end that conversation and make your way into the sanctuary, we'll have time to greet each other again. Good morning. All righty. It's still a little loud out there, so I want to give people a chance to come on in. Good morning, Cedar Lane. Whether you're joining us in person or from home, it is a joy to be together and worship with you this morning. It's a little rowdy today out there, huh? If you can hear my voice, come into the sanctuary. I am waiting patiently. All righty. Great. I'm the Rev Ali K.C. Bell. My pronouns are he, they, or you can call me by my title, Reverend, and my first name, Ali. And I am honored to welcome you to this time of connection and celebration. Visually, I'm a dark-skinned black man, and I am wearing a Progress Pride stole, a blue patterned shirt, tan pants, and a pink, white, and blue tie in honor of Trans Day of Visibility. I am a trans man. At Cedar Lane, we are a community where love works. That's right. We strive to embody beloved community by holding space where everyone, regardless of background, beliefs, sexual orientation. Hey, I have a little bit of an echo, friends. Sexual orientation, thank you so much. Gender identity, disability, documentation status, or life experiences are welcome. Everyone is welcome to bring their whole self here. If you're new or still feeling a little newish, we'd love to connect with you. If you're here in person, please raise your hand, and if you're joining us online, introduce yourself there so that we can give you a warm Cedar Lane welcome. And if you're just too shy for that, how about we just clap it up for them, friends? Welcome. After the service, we invite everyone to join us for fellowship and refreshments in the fellowship hall. It will be lovely. It's a great opportunity to connect deeper. And if you're new, and feel free to pick up a yellow mug, because at Cedar Lane, yellow means hello. It's up to us to say hello to you, not the other way around. If you have a yellow mug, we will talk to you. As we gather for worship, let us embrace the lively, multi-generational spirit of our community. Feel free to use creative materials, which are right outside the doors, and ground in the place that you need to be to stay engaged throughout the service. And if you need a listening ear or support, you can turn to our Caring Ministry team, led by Barbara Tomar. She's here for you today. And now, in the spirit of love and connection, let's greet one another. It's that time. Here it is. Turn to your neighbor with a warm hello.
Thank you, Jasmine, for that beautiful piece, and what a wonderful way for you to celebrate your birthday with us. Shall we just sing her happy birthday? Yeah, let's do it. I know how much you love surprises, Jasmine. So. Good morning. I'm Janamanchi. My pronouns are he and him, one of the ministers serving Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist congregation. Visually, I am a South Asian Indian male in my 50s with dark brown hair and a graying mustache, wearing a purple vest with a rainbow chalice pin, a blue shirt, and blue pants. I invite us now to hear the words of Reverend Angela Herrera Corin. Don't leave your broken heart at the door. Bring it to the altar of life. Don't leave your anger behind. It has high standards, and the world needs vision. Bring them with you, and your joy, and your passion. Bring your loving and your courage and your conviction. Bring your need for healing and your power to heal. There is work to do, and we have all that we need to do it right here in this sanctuary. Come, let us worship together.
Morning. My name is Ezra Town, and I'm your worship associate for today. I use the pronouns they and them. Visually, I am a white, trans-masculine, non-binary person wearing a black button-up shirt, jeans, and glasses. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, we light a chalice as a symbol of our shared faith and community. As members of the Sabbatical team, kindle the chalice. I invite you to share in the chat where you are lighting your chalice if you're joining us online. We light this chalice as a beacon for the path ahead, honoring the sacred journey of rest and renewal. Of the courage it takes to pause, the wisdom found in rest, and the resilience found in community. May this light strengthen our spirits, connect our hearts, and fill us with gratitude for all that sustains us on our journey. Please rise in body and/or spirit to sing hymn number 347.
That's some flower arrangement, Avi.
I see that. And it's taller than you, Reverend Ali.
It is, but you know, in spirit, I'm taller than it is.
Absolutely. You loom large.
That's right, that's right. Our announcements today aren't just updates. They're invitations to live our values and make a difference.
In that spirit, after worship, please join us in the library, noonish, depending on how long I preach, for the blessing of Cedar Lane's Banned Books Library. And you'll get to explore a curated collection of almost 100 books, many of them for children and young adults, and also celebrate the freedom to read. And I just want to say, and it's an incredible collection and beautifully done. Mary Morse and Tanner Ray and Carl Lopez, thank you for creating such a beautiful, beautiful display and an opportunity for all of us to engage in.
Yes.
And we will have Cedar Laner and well-known author Phyllis Naylor joining us to dedicate the library. Thank you, Phyllis, for being here today.
Woo!
Oh, and there will be cake.
Cake. And at 1 p.m. in the chapel, we invite trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming people to participate in a naming ceremony. This is our third year doing this, and as it's a part of our Transgender Awareness Week. Whether you chose your name recently or long ago, we honor and bless this meaningful milestone in your journey. So you can gather with us in the chapel at 1.
And alongside at 12:30 in room 33, join the sacred conversations about race to explore impact versus intention in speech, along with reflections on the recent election. There also, they can talk about impact and intention. And this conversation, sponsored by the 8th Principle Embodiment Group, is open to everyone.
And then once you've done all of that, later at 3 to 5, join Action in Montgomery, AIM, our interfaith partners at the Wild Lake Interfaith Center in Columbia, Maryland. This is very important. Join them for thriving communities in our future. Together, we'll advocate for affordable housing. And if you live in this area, you know it's not affordable. They're going to advocate for affordable housing, renters' rights, clean energy, and universal pre-K.
And then next Sunday, bring your contributions to our annual Thanksgiving food drive for Mid-County United Ministries, MUM, which provides emergency food and assistance for those in crisis. Our Share the Plate offering next Sunday will also benefit MUM, extending their life-changing work.
And if you're feeling called to make Cedar Lane your spiritual home, we welcome you to become a member today. Stop by the welcome table after service and sign the membership book with us. Together, we can build a community where love works.
And now let us move into a sacred space to share the joys and sorrows of our community and beyond.
As we enter this sacred time of sharing our joys and sorrows, let us pause, take a deep breath, and ground ourselves in the present moment. With open hearts, we welcome the fullness of human experience, challenges and joys, grief and hope, trusting that in this beloved community, none of us journeys alone. Within our Cedar Lane community, we send healing wishes to Vered Stoller, who underwent eye surgery in early November and is preparing for another surgery in early December. We send comfort, strength, and care to Paulette Skulka, who is receiving hospice care at her home. Expanding our circle of care, we hold in our hearts all those affected by violence, war, natural disasters, and the ongoing climate crisis. both here and around the world. We lift prayers for the people of Gaza, Lebanon, Ukraine, Sudan, and beyond, yearning for an end to the violence and destruction. May peace and safety find their way to all those in danger. As we close this time of sharing, I invite you to take a moment to light a candle, a ritual of honoring the joys and sorrows in your life, bringing them into the light and holding them within the embrace of this shared community.
With deep joy, we celebrate our transgender siblings.
And with profound grief, we mourn the violence done against them.
We give thanks for each of our trans kindred who embody the boundless and boundary-defying spirit of the divine.
Like all of humanity, they are made in the divine image, radiating the spark of the divine within.
We remember our trans siblings lost to violence, unjustly sacrificed on the altar of society's hatred and intolerance.
We acknowledge society's indifference and unkindness and confess our complicity in allowing these tragedies to continue.
We seek forgiveness and commit to justice, hoping it takes root within us. We are sorry.
We honor them and send love to their spirits with prayers for peace and well-being.
We remember the 419 trans individuals killed this year around the world.
We remember the 70 trans individuals who died by violence or suicide in the U.S. this year.
We remember those who were killed or died because they would not conform, would not hide, or would not pass.
We remember them, young and old, black, white, and brown, rich, poor, and low wealth, of every religion and none, of all nationalities and immigration statuses, sexual orientations, and gender identities and abilities.
We remember them, parents, children, siblings, partners, neighbors, co-workers, and friends.
We remember them, artists, activists, teachers, students, writers, poets, musicians, truth tellers, data analysts, gardeners, and quiet warriors for truth, some known deeply and others perhaps known by few.
In life, they cherished their families, friends, and animals.
They loved nature, embraced travel, and stood as defenders of the earth.
They fought for justice, equity, and dignity.
We mourn their senseless deaths and pray for the resolve to root out the ignorance, cruelty, and injustice that fuel despair.
We give thanks for their lives, for their gifts, and for the light they brought. So long as we live, they too shall live in our hearts and in our commitment to build a world that is freer, more compassionate, and more just.
As we enter the silence together, you're invited to rise in body and or in spirit in remembrance of loved ones that you are holding, and speak their names into the silence or share their names in the chat. Let us hold the silence as the silence holds us. Jim Kelly. May it be so. You may be seated.
As we gather in this sacred space, we are invited to invest in Cedar Lane's mission and vision. The offering we take today and every Sunday is more than just financial support. It's an act of commitment to this beloved community and to the values we hold dear. Through our generosity, we empower Cedar Lane to be a place where love works, where justice is pursued, and where all are welcome. Cedar Lane also relies on the pledged financial support of each of us. Your financial generosity sustains our programs, strengthens our community partnerships, and allows us to grow in faith, service, and connection. Whether you make a one-time gift today, support our Share the Plate partner, or renew your commitment through a pledge, every contribution plays a vital role in the strengthening of our community and advancing of our programs and missions. Today, we are honored to share the plate with Trans Maryland, a vital organization dedicated to empowering Maryland's transgender community. Founded and led by trans individuals, Trans Maryland fosters a multiracial, multigender community committed to advocacy, support, and meaningful change. One of their cornerstone programs is the Name and Gender Marker Change Initiative, the largest of its kind in Maryland. And over the past 4 years, Trans Maryland has helped more than 750 individuals through this process, providing peer-to-peer assistance and covering costs for those who need financial help. In addition, Trans Maryland offers weekly support groups and advocates tirelessly for policy protections and trans-inclusive laws. These services are needed more now than ever as we move to our new way of being in this country. Their advocacy has led to significant wins, including the addition of the X marker option for IDs and the passage of the Trans Health Equity Act and the repeal of outdated laws. Trans Maryland is impactful in its work, and their work is made possible by the generosity of supporters like you. So whether you give online, by text, by mailing a check, or by placing your gift in the offering plate, every contribution, no matter the size, makes a real difference. Thank you for your support, which helps sustain this vital mission. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Song for every one of us.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And good morning. My name is Linda Janamanchi, and I am one of the co-chairs of Abi's Sabbatical team. Many of our members were up here lighting the chalice this morning, and we're going to be at a table in the lounge. So if you have any questions, please come over and talk with us. Cedar Lane grants sabbaticals to its called ministers as part of our covenant with them. Reverend Abi, I think I speak for the team that we greatly admire and respect your leadership over these past 11 years as our beloved senior minister. And in case you didn't notice, we donated these flowers in his honor today. We are thrilled that you're taking 4 months of sabbatical time, with 3 starting next week. Abi will return in mid-February, and then he'll take another month starting in mid-May. The time away benefits, you'll hear this in his sermon, not only Abi, but the entire congregation as he returns refreshed, bringing new renewed energy and fresh ideas to our shared work. We look forward to his return. Meanwhile, I want you to know that our congregation is going to be in good hands. Reverend Bill Sinkford will serve as our part-time sabbatical minister during the first period, offering both in-person and virtual support. As many of you know, he's a prominent leader in Unitarian Universalism, including past president of the UUA, and he also was a longtime senior minister at First Unitarian, Portland, Oregon. Well, in addition to him, we have our wonderful senior staff, Jen, Reverends Ali and Dana, and Michael. They will continue to manage day-to-day operations and programs. We have a strong worship team, as you know, including our clergy, our director of music and arts, our worship associates, and our AV team. In addition to Reverend Sinkford, we have lined up many prominent guest speakers, including Elise Bryant, Mark Morrison-Reed, and several ministers who have visited us in the past. I'm not telling you everybody, you gotta pay attention. There's a web page on the cedarlane.org website that we'll keep up to date. It has a Q&A section, which has much more detailed information. You may want to check on that. And meanwhile, come and see us in the lounge. Thank you.
So we'll be leading you today in a sung meditation. I invite you to place any items you have in your hands on the floor. Sit comfortably. Whatever you need to do to adjust so that you're settled in your seat. Allow your arms to soften, settling with your hands in your lap, either palms up or palms down. Take a deep breath in. Drop your jaw and let the breath pass through your mouth. In again through the nose and out. I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. And join me on a hum. Feel the resonance in your chest. Breathing when you need to, in through the nose. I will begin with song and then invite you to join me after you've heard it. And when you're ready, join me. If not, stay with the hum. Again with the hum. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will Take a moment to breathe naturally. And then open your eyes and bring your awareness back to the space that we are in together.
Thank you. Thank you, Jenny Lynn, Travis, Kevin, and Jasmine, for really helping us ground ourselves. I want to begin with 3 stories and a confession. The first story is a Japanese wisdom tale that you've heard before. Nan In, a Zen master, was invited by a professor eager to learn about Zen. However, when the professor visited with him, he couldn't stop talking about everything he already knew about Zen. Patiently, Nan In invited him in to have some tea. And as he poured the tea into the professor's cup, it started to overflow, and the professor exclaimed, "Enough, enough! Can't you see the cup is full?" Nan In smiled and he said, "You are like this cup, so full that nothing more can enter. Come back when your cup is empty." The second story features the 19th century Unitarian intellectual Oliver Wendell Holmes. Incidentally, it was Holmes's wife Fanny who famously quipped, "In Boston, everybody has to be something, and Unitarian was the least we could be." Holmes was known for his daily breakfast routine, a bowl of oatmeal porridge. And one morning, his cook came to him apologetically, confessing that she had run out of oatmeal. Bracing herself for his reaction, she was quite surprised when Holmes responded quite warmly, "Why, that's all right. I never really cared for it anyway." And the third story, another familiar parable, takes us to a village by a river. One day, a villager noticed a baby floating downstream. Without hesitation, he waded into the water, rescued the baby, and brought it to safety. The next day, more babies appeared in the river. Soon, the entire village was mobilized into rescue efforts. Swimmers working in shifts, watchtowers were erected, and zip lines carried babies to shore. And they built orphanages and grew food to care for the babies. One day, however, someone walked past the rescuers and headed upstream. And the others called out, "Where are you going? We need your help." The person replied, "I'm going upstream to find out why so many babies are falling into the river." What these stories have in common is that humans are creatures of habit. And habits can be wonderful: intellectual, ethical, spiritual, relational, habits that nurture us. But then there are those other habits, the ones we defend even when they don't serve us: neuroses, addictions, self-destructive tendencies. And every now and then, though, we need a fresh perspective. And sometimes the only way to get it is through some kind of timeout. It might be a self-imposed break, or maybe it's enforced, like when our kids are acting out and we have to give them a timeout. Or, in more serious cases, it might call for an intervention. Whatever it takes to hit the reset button. And now, my confession. I am terrible at vacations. When it comes to time off, I am as American as they come. According to the Center for Economic Policy and Research, Americans take the shortest paid vacations in the developed world. Worse, 40% of us leave vacation days unused. Why? Because we are too busy to get away. And we wear our busyness like a badge of honor. I work 50 to 60 hours a week, we say, with a mix of pride and complaint. If there is a commandment we love to break, it is the fourth: "Thou shalt keep the Sabbath." Now, as a minister, even though I work mostly out of joy and gratitude, I confess that I also work to uphold an image, to feed my ego, and satisfy that neurotic need to be needed. A part of me believes that if I am not constantly working, I'm not worthy of respect, of love, of acceptance. And in trying to do everything, I betray myself, my loved ones, and the commitments I've already made, and to this congregation. The poet David White calls this a kind of adultery, an infidelity to what truly matters. Ouch. Saying yes to too much is, in effect, saying no to the people and values I claim to hold dear. And the irony, when I'm overwhelmed, I'm really not present to anyone, to anything, not fully. Which brings me to the sabbatical. For me, this is a sacred intervention that some of you had to orchestrate to get me to do it. Why am I looking at you, Rajbhai? And so I am taking it. From November 25th through February 23rd, and again from mid-May to mid-June, I'm going to be stepping away. Now, as Linda mentioned, Cedar Lane has a tradition of granting sabbaticals, not just for the health of its ministers, but for the good of the congregation. My predecessors have all taken sabbaticals, some for 6 months, venturing to faraway places like Scotland and Australia. I mean, getting as far away as possible. Now, while that sounds really tempting, my over-functioning, controlling self couldn't handle being away for that long, I have to confess. So I am taking 4 months to empty my coffee cup, try something other than oatmeal, and for a little while release the need to be constantly saving. During this time, I'll focus on rest and renewal, hiking, reading mysteries, not nonfiction. Thank God I'm outdone. This is just, watching cricket, writing without Sunday deadlines, spending time with family and my dogs, and visiting India. It'll be a chance to decelerate, as Harvard professor Jennifer Roberts puts it, and practice immersive attention. I love that, immersive attention. Because I hope to continue serving as one of your ministers for at least a few more years, but I also want our time together to stay fresh and meaningful for both of us. You know, some ministers have been known to stay too long, to sit on the franchise, so to speak. And so after 11 and a half years, well, I think I need to pay some attention, keep my ear to the ground, and keep my wits about me. We have accomplished a lot together. You know, you worked your tails off, and so have I. But we are more human than otherwise, as Richard Gilbert puts it, and weariness has a way of creeping in. So taking stock now is vital to ensure that what we are building, and we are building a new way, remains vibrant, meaningful, and true to our shared mission. But for that to happen, we need a little space from one another. Yes, I need time away from you. Much as I love you, I need some time away. And you need some time away from me. Because you've probably noticed my fingerprints all over Cedar Lane. I've even been accused, shocking, I know, of being a bit of a micromanager. Oh, come on. Yes, you know me. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's shocking. I know. And while micromanaging can sometimes be helpful, it's also important for you to remember who you are when I'm not around. As the old doggerel reminds us, sometimes when you're feeling important, sometimes when your ego's in bloom, sometimes when you feel that your going would leave an unfillable hole, take a bucket and fill it with water. Put your hand in it up to the wrist, pull it out, and the hole that's remaining is a measure of how much you will be missed. That's actually from a dear colleague of mine who shared it with me. While I'm away, as you heard, my dear friend and mentor, Reverend Bill Sinkford, will serve as part-time sabbatical minister alongside Jen Morley, Reverends Ali and Dana, the board, the sabbatical team, and many others. They will need your support. And I know they'll do just fine. Who knows? You might even discover that you never really liked that oatmeal after all. Because this sabbatical is an opportunity for us all, a chance to stretch, to adapt, to grow, and thrive in new ways. My absence, I hope, will invite some fresh rhythms and opportunities for leadership and creativity to emerge. Because change is how we grow. And I can't wait to see what unfolds. So I invite you to approach this sabbatical not as your sabbatical from Cedar Lane. I'm the one who's getting that sabbatical. Just to be clear. So I want you to consider approaching this time as a season of possibility, a time to step into new roles, deepen your connections, and explore what this, your spiritual home, can be and what you can do together. Because Cedar Lane has always been more than one minister, one team, one leader, or one moment. It is a living tapestry woven from the contributions of every person who shows up with intention, care, and commitment. And I am so grateful for the trust you place in me to be able to step back. And I'm grateful for the trust you place in yourself and one another to carry forward Cedar Lane's mission and values. And that trust reminds us of an important truth. Ministry is shared, and leadership comes from many places. And the most meaningful thing you can do during this time is quite simple. Show up. Show up. Show up on Sundays, in small groups, and in ministry teams, and at community events, because your presence matters. Cedar Lane's vitality, energy, and welcome depend on each and every one of you. So how might you lean in more fully than you had planned? Perhaps it's joining a group, stepping into a new volunteer role, or exploring leadership on a ministry team or a committee or a task force. Maybe it's committing to attend more regularly or deepening your connections with those you meet here. Show up. Not because everything will be perfect, but because we need each other, especially in this time. Being here together is how we continue to create a vibrant, resilient community that Cedar Lane has always aspired to be and is becoming. Of course, things won't always go smoothly. There will be questions, misunderstandings, challenges, opportunities. You will continue to step on each other's toes, just like any other time of the year. When those moments arise, don't hesitate to reach out. If something feels unclear, don't speculate. Others are likely wondering the same thing. Your voice matters. Your questions, your concerns, and your feedback will help us grow stronger. We are so fortunate to have a wonderful sabbatical team, the board, and senior staff to support the congregation during this time. And they are here to help, to listen, and to guide. And this is a season of curiosity and care, an invitation to notice what feels different and lean into opportunities to learn, to adapt, and to strengthen our community. And as staff roles shift during this sabbatical, there's also room for more volunteers to step forward. This is a time of shared responsibility where everyone's contributions make a difference. Whether you're helping on Sunday mornings, joining a group, or supporting a ministry, your participation strengthens the fabric of our community. Deepa Iyer, who is here today working with the children, in her social change ecosystem reminds us that movements for justice and change thrive because of diverse contributions. Each of us brings something unique to the table. Some of us are builders, creating structures to support shared work. Others are weavers, connecting people and ideas. Some are caregivers, nurturing the community's spirit, or visionaries, imagining what is possible. Then there are disruptors who challenge the status quo, healers tending to wounds, and guides grounding us in wisdom. Ask yourself, what role calls you in this season? What unique gifts might you bring to Cedar Lane during this time of transition and growth? Whether through leadership, connection, care, or creativity, your participation is essential to keeping this community going. Cedar Lane has always been a community that values learning and transformation, and this sabbatical season invites us to embody those values more fully, stepping into opportunities for growth and renewal. Now, as we embrace this sabbatical season, we're also called to reflect not only on rest and renewal, but also on our broader purpose as a people of faith in this post-election season. The world that we are living and moving into demands resilience, action, and discernment. A sabbatical mindset rooted in rest before renewal and resistance offers a lens through which we can navigate these turbulent times with clarity, courage, and strength. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, the American poet, post-trauma specialist, and author of Women Who Run with Wolves, offers us this wisdom. In any challenging time, there is a tendency to veer toward fainting over how much is wrong or unmended in the world. Do not focus on that. There is a tendency, too, to fall into being weakened by dwelling on what is outside your reach, by what cannot yet be. Do not focus there. That is spending the wind without raising the sails. Instead, she calls us to focus on what is within our reach. Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world all at once, she writes, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. This sabbatical is an opportunity for you all to mend the part of the world that is within your reach, this community. It's an opportunity to step back, to remember that the small, calm things we do, the acts of kindness, moments of care, matter more than we realize. She writes, any small, calm thing that one soul can do to help another soul will help immensely. It is not given to us to know which acts or by whom will cause the critical mass to tip toward an enduring good. This is the work of community, not to solve everything all at once, not to act like there is no cause left behind, but to continue to be present with one another and prepare to be a sanctuary for each other and for all those who will need this place. One of the most powerful things we can do, she reminds us, is to stand up and show our soul. She writes, "Soul on deck shines like gold in dark times. The light of the soul throws sparks, can send up flares, builds signal fires, causes proper matters to catch fire. To display the lantern of soul in shadowy times like these, to be fierce and to show mercy towards others, both are acts of immense bravery and greatest necessity." And this, my friends, is what Cedar Lane does well. You show your souls. You light lanterns. You meet the storms with both courage and compassion. And this sabbatical offers an opportunity to deepen those gifts, to stretch into new roles, to trust one another, and to discover how much stronger this community can grow when everyone steps forward together. There will, of course, be moments of challenge. I, too, have felt despair in this time, but Estes offers a powerful practice. She says, "I do not keep a chair for it. I will not entertain it. It is not allowed to eat from my plate." Instead, she reminds us, there can be no despair when you remember why you came into this earth, whom you serve, and who sent you here. And this is the wisdom we hold as a community of faith. We're not here to just stay safe, moored in a harbor. We're not building a fortress. When a great ship is in harbor and moored, it is safe, there can be no doubt. But that is not what great ships are built for. And Cedar Lane, you are a great ship. Sometimes you act like an aircraft carrier, but that's a separate sermon, especially when it comes to change. As I step away to navigate my own river, I trust that you will continue to moor and sail with courage and grace, because you are ready to raise your sails, to chart new courses, and to meet the upcoming storms with resilience and heart. And together we will carry forward this journey, one act, one lantern, one light, one sail at a time, together. And to that, I say, amen. 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 Please rise in body and or in spirit to sing "There's a River Flowing in My Soul."
Tell
What an amazing music ministry team we have here at Cedar Lane. Wow, thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm going to miss you all. As we prepare to go forth, may we carry with us the courage to embrace rest as resistance. Let us embrace the wisdom to renew our spirits and the strength to meet this world, this beautiful and broken world, with compassion and grace. May we remember that we are not alone in this journey, for the work of love and justice calls us together as one community. And let us be guided by this Shanti Mantra, peace prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. May all beings be happy. Sarve santu niramayah. May all beings be free. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. May all beings experience the holy. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. And may no one suffer in any way. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Go in peace, go making peace, living gently, loving mightily, and bowing to the mystery. May it be so.
Shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep.